Ladies and gentlemen, it is your host of Hope Media, the Mom Edition. It's Andre Norman, and I'm back again. And as always, we have another phenomenal mom. There's nothing like a mother. There's nothing like a mother's voice, a mother's love, a mother's touch, and a mother's smile. So I'm bringing you all of that and then some today. And I'd like to introduce to you the Mother of the Year. How's that?
That sounds great.
Would you like to introduce yourself to my
Yes.
650,000 people in my tribe?
Yes, my name is Lakeisha, and I am a mother of 3 incarcerated sons.
3 incarcerated sons.
Yes.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Oklahoma primarily. I'm from California.
You're a cowgirl.
Well, I'm originally from California, but back and forth from my grandparents to my parents. Yeah.
So who lived where?
My parents lived in California. My grandparents lived in Oklahoma.
Gotcha. So you went to high school in Oklahoma?
Yes.
So what was high school like in Oklahoma?
High school was fun. I was a teenage mom, so
Like ninth grade?
in ninth to 10th grade, yes.
Okay. So you came into high school.
As a parent, practically, yes. So
How does this happen? You come through middle school, everything's great. You show up in high school. What boys was just introduction to boys? And
no, I think my grandparents kind of let me do what I wanted to do, and that's why I would like to spend most of the time in Oklahoma. And my parents had a lot more structure and discipline. So I, for some strange reason, thought having a baby was going to make me an adult.
Okay.
So
So you're 14. You say, Mom, I'm about to have a baby.
More or less.
And your mother said what?
She was heartbroken. She was devastated because she felt like I was still a baby, and I wasn't equipped for that type of responsibility.
Did you understand her dismay and pain?
Not at the time. Not, her pain, but I think I was focused on what I wanted at the time.
And you wanted a baby.
I wanted to be grown,
You wanted to be grown.
and I thought that was one of the
One of the things.
ways, yes.
So you have your baby. What do you name your baby?
Kendall,
Kendall. Mm-hmm. So you got little baby Kendall.
yes.
And everything, did it get better like you thought?
No, not at all. That was my first son, and actually, it wasn't bad. I had a tremendous amount of family support. So having a baby didn't stop me from still going to high school, still hanging out and doing. So I didn't feel the pressure at that time.
But did it get you your grown status, your adult status?
No,
Didn't work.
No.
You was just a kid with a kid.
right. Still depending on adults, because, yeah,
You were a kid.
right.
So did you make it through high school?
I didn't make it through traditionally the way,
How far did you make it in your traditional high school?
I made it to the 11th grade.
Then what happened?
And then I met my second son's father.
He was in high school with you?
No, he was an adult.
Okay.
Yes, I'm back in California at that time.
So you left Oklahoma. So the baby stayed in Oklahoma?
No,
Baby came with you to California?
yes.
So you're in California, 16?
About 16, 17, roughly.
Then you meet your second baby's father.
Yes.
And what was wonderful about him?
Oh, wow.
At the time, when you first met him,
At the time, flashy car, just
Cool
things.
guy.
Yes,
you're like, damn, he's cool.
yes. Older guy, just
More
things.
mature. He got his stuff together.
So I thought,
So you get with him and baby number 2?
yes,
What's baby number 2 name?
Monte.
Monte. So you got Monte and Kendall, and you're in California at mom and dad's.
I'm not at my mom and dad's at this point. At this point, I am operating as an adult for the most part. So me and the dad get a
Living
place.
together. Okay, cool. So you have 2 kids, your family is intact,
Yes.
and what went wrong?
Well, a lot of what went wrong was he was involved in a lifestyle that he was 14 years my senior.
Okay.
Just to kind of paint a little narrative to that. But And I just,
He was living over your head.
yes, became daddy so I have 2 kids by him. So I had Monte, another son with him as well.
So
under
there's
him.
3 boys, mom, dad, everything seemingly okay.
Yes.
But behind the picture, behind the scenes, what was it?
Behind the scenes, it was controlled, and I want to get away, but now I'm in this situation. So
3 kids, it's hard to run.
right.
So you're kind of like, you're feeling trapped.
Yes.
Were you able to get away from the situation?
Yes, I was. I was only trapped as much as I wanted to be trapped because my parents and my family, the door never was closed. So if they say you ready to go, then I could have came home at any time.
So when you finally made up your mind, did you go to Oklahoma or California?
I went to Oklahoma. I retreated back to Oklahoma.
Grandparents are like, come on home.
Basically. We're going to take care of the kids and you get yourself together. Well, we're going to support you in that.
So you went to live with grandparents again?
Yes.
The first time I went to Oklahoma, I went to a place called FCI El Reno.
I
I pulled in, and there was a guard. He was like 6'6". He looked at me. I said something. He said, boy, you in God's country. I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
right.
And I shut up and got in line. I was doing my regular East Coast thing. He said, boy, you in God's country.
Not there.
I said, I got that. And I was like, and I
Absolutely.
fell right in line because I didn't want to know what God's country meant.
Absolutely.
So what do you got 3 boys, you're with your grandparents, life is cool. You working? You going back to school?
I'm working. Yes, I'm working at this point. I stayed with my grandparents for about 6 months just till I was able to get my own place and did. And things were seemingly going well,
Then what were the kids doing? What were their things? Sports?
Yes,
Artistic? Or
they
like-
were into sports. They were. My oldest son was with my mom, but my 2 younger boys were with me in Oklahoma after a while. So sports. They pretty much went to sports and school activities. I mean, normal stuff that.
Soccer mom, just drive and drop them off.
Absolutely.
You go to the games?
Yes.
Were they good, or you just cheering for them because you was mom?
One of them was good, but I was cheering for them all.
Because they've been telling lies about this forever. Who was the greatest? This? They were kids, so it doesn't have anything to do with adults.
No, right.
As kids, who was better?
My middle child, Richard, he was very
was that guy.
athletic. Yeah. and
The other
very
one was
good.
trying.
Yes.
See, in my family, I was a middle child, and I was trash.
Right.
I was slow. I wasn't fat. I was just slow. I was not awkward, but I couldn't catch a ball for some
Okay.
reason because I just couldn't focus on a ball being thrown at me. It just didn't work out well.
Right. So,
So I sided with the other one.
oh, well.
My little brother was more athletic than me,
Okay.
and he was left-handed. He had a cheat code.
This is true. I'm left-handed, so that's.
So they get to high school, and how's it going for them?
We're back in California when they get to high school.
What part of California?
We went to Moreno Valley, California, when we moved back from Oklahoma. At this time, they are about maybe 12, 11 and 12. But I have 2 other children at this time.
You had 2 more?
Yes.
Oh, you going?
I have 5 children.
Oh, hold on. When did these? I was with you at 3. You just pop up with 2
In
more.
Oklahoma, yes.
So in Oklahoma, you happen to say, hey. So you meet somebody in Oklahoma.
Yeah, somebody I met or knew from 5th grade, long time ago, and
He be waiting.
basically.
He be waiting. He been in the wings.
My
Like, man, I'm
5th
waiting.
grade boyfriend. I'm like, well,
Fifth
how did you come back? Okay.
You're wonderful. So you had 2 more kids,
Yes.
boys or girls?
1 boy and 1 girl. So 4 boys.
So now you have 5 kids total. And why did you move back to California?
My parents were, I'm an adult at this point and understand
Yeah,
life
5
a lot
kids.
better. Yeah, no doubt. And they
you're
want to be
fully
around
adult.
their grandchildren. So that was primarily the reason we moved back. It was so that's.
So you go back to California. You got, I know 4 are living with you. The one that stayed with your parents, did he move back in with you?
No, he actually, his dad lived in Georgia, so it was kind of a custody battle.
So he shot to Georgia.
Yeah, he was raised primarily with his dad.
So you got your 4 with you. One,
Is
the
in
oldest
Georgia.
is in
The
Georgia.
oldest is in Georgia.
And at what point did you start noticing that your kids were getting in trouble?
Well, initially, the transition of moving from Oklahoma to California, they were excited, but they still they missed their friends in Oklahoma. It was just a transition, so that was the initial part of, well, you know what, I apologize, that's not the case. When we moved to California, everything was actually well. My middle child, Richard, yes, he actually, they started hanging out with a different crowd. First it was just dance groups, and then, I'm like, okay, where is this going? Mostly it was the crowds that they started.
So the crowds just started coming through, and they're going with their friends. They got new
Yes.
friends.
They're going with their friends. I'm a single mother, obviously, at that time, and I'm working 12-hour shifts a day. And so they were, latchkey kids. So they had a lot of idle time on their hands. So that was a bit, because they had all the luxuries, as far as the provisions that parents
They had the
offer.
PlayStations, they had the games,
yes,
they had the clothes, they had the
that
stuff,
is not
but just no supervision.
right.
Not enough supervision.
Not enough supervision, yes.
So did any of them ever get arrested in their juvenile years?
Yes.
So what was that phone call like?
Initially, it was scary, because the first phone call was scary. I've had phone calls after that, but because I didn't know what this meant for him, what does it mean for me? So it was scary, I guess.
So how long did they hold him the first time?
Like 2 weeks.
Was it Richard? Mm-hmm. So they took him to California Youth Authority, I think they call it.
Or to juvenile hall.
Juvenile hall. And
Juvenile
they hold him down there for a couple of weeks.
Yes.
Did you go see him? Mm-hmm. So what was it like having to sign papers to see your baby?
It was difficult, not just signing papers, asking for permission, stand here. It was all of that. Was a lot going into the facility. The first time I went in was just a lot.
So you go in, you see your baby, and you can't take him home. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking, have I equipped him enough to deal with what he's dealing with? That's what I'm thinking.
All right. So eventually they let him out in 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And when he comes home, what do you do?
Try to restructure, implement some rules and guidelines, and just try to figure out how not to get back to that point again.
But he went back. Mm-hmm. When you get the second phone call when he's back.
I'm pissed, at this point, because I feel like it could have been avoided, but I'm still scared. Yeah.
So he's like 15, 16 now? Mm-hmm. And he's in and out?
Yes.
At what point did your second child get arrested?
My second child got arrested when he was 19.
So they're all adults?
Yes. The second one he's 30, so he's the second of.
Oh, you took Richard?
Monte.
Monte.
That's the second child that got arrested at 19. Richard was still, I think, 17 at that point.
And then they call you and say Monte's arrested. Monte, mm-hmm. What do you say? What do you say to yourself? You look in the mirror like.
I'm like, a little shocked that it was Monte that got arrested.
Why were you shocked it was Monte?
Well, just him and his brother have two different, demeanors. Obviously, they were hanging around the same crowd, but for me, I thought Monte was the wiser of the two, so I was a little.
So he went to the county jail if he's 19. Mm-hmm. Was that different than the juvenile hall?
Yes.
What was the difference?
The difference was I can't call and see how he's doing at the county jail. I can't. There's no real rights for the parent. To me, he's still my child and my baby, but the juvenile system do allow you to kind of know what's going on with
You
your
can
child.
check in on the juvenile.
Yes,
Adult, they're the adult.
right,
So
right.
the
So
facility doesn't feel the need to check in with you because they have an adult in custody.
this is, yes,
My mom said she used to feel powerless when she came to see me.
that would be accurate. That would definitely be accurate.
So did you have to put the face on before you went into the visiting room?
Yes.
Tell people what it's like putting on the mom face before you go in.
It's a lot of talking yourself through it, because you want to be careful not to transfer any energy to your child. Why I like to be careful not to transfer any energy thinking or show any emotion. I don't think they've ever seen me cry in a situation, it's because I'm like, are they going to be able to handle it? Or, so putting on the face is certainly a real thing to be able to show up and give so they can, I guess, be strong and try to get through it too.
So Monte's in, Richard goes back. So now they're both in at the same time?
Yes.
Are they in the same jail?
No. No, they're actually in two different states.
Two different states.
Yes.
So Monte's where, what
In
state?
California,
And Richard was in
Arizona.
Arizona. So you have two kids locked up. Are you traveling back and forth to see both?
Yes. At this point, when Monte got locked up, we moved to Arizona. So yeah, I'm kind of going back and forth at this time.
And what are you thinking about yourself that two of your kids are locked up?
I'm trying to reflect on, I blamed myself for a while because I'm like, maybe I wasn't hard enough. Maybe, because I've taught them, they know right from wrong, certainly, and they know all the same things that most parents teach their children. But I did a lot of overcompensating for their fathers that wasn't there, and a lot of my yeses should have been nos. So that's kind of where I
And then
feel with
you said the
myself.
third child got locked up.
Yes.
Which one is this?
This is my baby.
Your baby.
Yes. He just turned 22 in December. And he's in the county in California.
So are you thinking this is like the devil attacking your family?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because, yeah, I'm like, oh Lord, what are we doing here? I mean, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm like, my kids are completely under attack. What have I done, or what is going on, or what can I do to endure this, and really lend myself to whoever else may be going through this, because I'm, okay, this is not normal.
So Richard's in Arizona. Monte is in California.
Yes,
And where's the baby?
in Orange County, California.
So when your phone rings, they call home.
Yes.
How is it like when you get the phone calls?
Relieved, at first it was difficult with Monte, only because I was always nervous about the energy transfer he would give me. I didn't know with the things in the sentence and everything that they imposed on him. Initially, his energy was just all over the place. So I was just, but when he called, it would be so heavy on me that by the time I end the call, I'm wiped out. I'm like, I can barely even, I can't talk to nobody else, or even I need to go lay down.
I was gonna say, how many times and how many hours you spent curled up in your bed just crying?
I would definitely isolate, but I'm still have a real, I don't cry as much, maybe it's inside, but it's not that I'm not in pain, that's for sure.
Oh,
But my tears just,
they don't come like that.
right.
Is Richard sentenced? How much time did they give him?
10 years,
And Monte?
102 to life.
And your baby?
He's still fighting this case right now, so I'm not sure.
So when you're getting these, are you in the courtroom when these happen? So who got sentenced first?
Monte,
So you're standing in court, and the judge says 102 years.
And
That
this
just
was-
sounds like a lot.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And this was in 2000. It's been down for 10 years, but when I hear it initially, I don't even believe. I'm like, wait a minute, I need somebody to interpret what he just said, because that couldn't be
Accurate. That doesn't
accurate.
make sense.
Yes, or
You
so.
can't give a person 102 years.
Yeah, I'm like, well, maybe, I really, I was in disbelief. I was in disbelief.
You know, sentences went that high.
I didn't know it was that easy to take a man's life. I sat in trial for 19 days. That's what I didn't really realize. I'm like, I'm sorry, how did we get to this conclusion? So, yeah.
I learned a long time ago, the way I saw criminal justice wasn't the way they saw criminal justice. I saw it because I was a guy sitting in the chair.
Right.
So I had compassion. The first time I got written up and I got to jail, I got in a fight or something. You go to the hearing. I sat in the room. They said, okay, you're guilty of the fight. 7 days isolation. It's like you sit in your cell. They take your TV away.
Right.
Then I didn't realize it stopped your visits.
Yeah.
For those 7 days, I'm not allowed visits. So the next time I had another write-up, I go back in, they tell me step in, step out. Oh, we're gonna give you 7 days isolation. I said, hold up.
Right.
Do you believe this is enough to take away my family's right to visit me? They look at me like I had 3 heads.
Right.
They're like, what is he talking about? I'm like, no, you're telling me that my mother can't come see me for 7 days because I did this. How do you make that equation?
Right.
But what I didn't understand is they have a rule book and a checkbox. It ain't personal at one level. It's like, if you do this, we're gonna give you this.
Okay.
And if
yeah.
you do this, and we're gonna give you this. If you don't want this, then don't do that.
Right.
But don't do this and then come over here and start complaining about the back end. I just didn't, it blew my mind that a fight or disagreement or yelling at a CO was equal to not seeing my mother for 10, 20, 30 days.
Right. Right.
It changed, this blew my mind. They're like,
Yeah.
well, you know what they told me? You'll figure it out after a while. Because this is the system.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It ain't changing.
No.
Either you gonna change, but this ain't changing.
No.
And you know something? To this day, they still give out 7-day isolations that take away the rights to visits.
Yeah.
It's just, you learn institutional policy as you go.
Yes.
You start out you're probably a prison expert now.
I certainly been around the block, no doubt. So,
So
yeah.
102 years. So what do you do with that?
I don't accept it. That's number one. I always preface by saying, that was what he was sentenced to. However, I'm going to speak life over. He is coming home. That is the sentence that man gave him. God says he's coming home. So when you with God, you're the majority.
Hold on one second. Pass my phone. We keep rolling. So I just want to share this with you because I just think it's important. And I'm inside. I got 7 to 10, 2 9 to 10s, 2 10s, 2 15 to 20s.
Oh my.
I picked up 2 5s inside. Plus I had another 5 running wild. And I was just an acting fool. I came in with that. And then I finally got serious and I got focused. And I want you to understand this because when I went back, what they said in the beginning was see you later, bye. They waved. Said do as much as you can, then just tap out. That was the attitude.
Well, yes.
So
yes.
then when I finally got focused and I started living right, I started focusing, I started
Yes.
being helpful, even in prison,
No,
started
absolutely.
being the right things, then good things started happening to me. Then one day, when I was fighting my course, I got a letter from the appellate court. And this is what it says. For the reasons discussed, we hold that the prosecution against Norman in Superior Court was barred against the prohibition against double jeopardy. The judgment against him on the charges of armed robbery is reversed. The verdict is set aside. The indictment is to be dismissed. So ordered.
No, I said that, and this is why
And I walked out.
I don't accept it. That
Never
just
accept it.
why. That's the reason, right there.
It's not, you never should accept it.
Yes,
But he has to do the work.
and he is. He really, he definitely is. So we're gonna walk it out.
If he gets on the right track, he gets in the right lane, and he does the right thing, right things will happen for him. If he's in there hustling, shucking and jiving, lying and BSing and
Right.
being cool, then that's where he'll be.
Take longer. Yeah,
Oh, it's
exactly.
going to take a lot longer.
Yes.
I'm saying I've helped numerous people come home from prison since I've been home. My best friend, my OG as we call him,
Right.
had a natural life sentence. When I came home, I helped raise money, reach out, and there's a place called Florence ADX. It is the last line of prisons in America. It's the new Alcatraz.
Oh, wow.
He was out there in the side of a mountain with a natural life sentence. And we overturned his case. He has the same judgment. Their verdict to be set aside. Well, they gave him a new trial. And instead of retrying him, they resentenced him to like, whatever the most they can give him, but with numbers.
Right.
But it was different than natural. It went from letters to numbers.
Absolutely.
And he already had 29 years in, so he was eligible that day to come home.
Wow.
So they brought him back from Colorado, and they released him, and he came to live with me at my house. And natural.
Wow.
People come home.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People come home. There's been countless times where initially it was said, but in the end, God wins.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But he has to do it. I want to be clear.
No, I completely. I received that definitely.
It wasn't when I was ready. It's when God was ready.
Absolutely.
And this is the craziest part I want to tell you. I went to parole. I got parole. It was April of 1999. I'm given parole. I earned it. It's time to go.
Okay.
It wasn't my first time up, but I got it. I'm ready to go home.
Right.
I'm like, I'm out of here. I told everybody I'm gone.
Right.
And I got into a situation where people were trying to get in the way of me being released. Because I caused so much grief for so long. I
Right.
earned this. It wasn't like they picked my name out
No,
of the
no,
hat.
absolutely.
I
Yes.
caused grief on a whole nother level. So I ended up going back and forth between the parole board, the state, and the courts, trying to get the parole order instituted.
Okay.
It took an extra 8 months. I didn't go home in April. I went home in November.
Wow.
It was just like spinning wheels, Hampton Wick, but eventually, November 15th, not April 15th, I walked out. And I sat there for 8 months thinking these people are robbing me, they blocking me, but all this in my head.
Right.
And I finally got out November 15th with a little bit of a grudge, like they tried to hold me up. And they did technically hold me up.
Right.
I came out in November. It's cold in Boston in November.
Oh,
So I
yes.
hate the cold.
Right.
So I do November, December, Thanksgiving, Christmas, January I'm in college.
Okay.
So I'm in college in January. I got baptized January 4th. I'm in college like January 12th, and I'm off to the races.
Wow.
Had they let me out in April, after 14 years being locked up, it was right on time for the summer. I'd have came home. I'm due one summer.
Right.
Listen, my
Right.
birthday's coming up.
Right.
I'm due one summer.
Yes.
I'm going to shine this summer.
Yes.
I owe this to me. And I'd have shined all summer.
Yes. And
What was the likelihood of me going to college in September?
not likely, I'm sure. If you
I
would've
walked out
been
in November, sat in the house for 45 days, and
Yes.
college was there.
ready to receive you.
So as much as I thought that they blocked me and held me, it was a higher power that blocked me and held me.
Yes.
Because God knew, if I let this boy out in April, it's about to get springtime, summertime, he going to be shining, and he ain't going to be able to back that down.
Son gonna drive him crazy.
God held me an extra 8 months. I
Absolutely.
blame them, looking back.
No, absolutely.
God held me until it was ready for me. It was best timing for me.
Yes.
No man governs my steps. God said, no, April. It's not going to work. I did not release him in April because he wouldn't have made it. I got out in November. And that 8 months is a huge difference in my trajectory and my life today.
Yeah.
Because had I gotten April, I might have gone back. Definitely wasn't going to
Yes.
college.
Wow.
Wouldn't have had time for this, or the other.
Exactly.
So it's never an our time.
No, yes. And in this journey, I have learned to release my timing. It's not, Lord, it's whatever you want.
Oh, we all were blaming the
Okay.
system.
Yeah,
we
no,
were screaming the
absolutely.
system's
But,
corrupt. These people are out of control. They're hating. I mean, we had every negative
Of
thing to
course,
say.
yes.
Looking back now, I am so grateful
Right.
that I didn't get out till November.
Thank you for holding me.
Thank you for holding me.
Yes.
I had a friend when I was running a program at a county jail. Knew him from upstate. He
Mm-hmm.
came home, had a driving license thing. They gave him like 90 days in the county.
Right.
I'm running the program there. Phenomenal man. He's ready to get back out. It's Friday. I said, yo, Jay, you need to go to the drug program. Nah, Dre, I'm going home. I said, Jay, you've been here for 90 days. You should go to the drug program.
Right.
Nah, they didn't get me on no drug case. I had a license case. He refused the drug program. He went home on Friday, and he OD'd on Sunday.
Oh, my goodness.
He had a chance to stay and do the drug program. But it was more important for him to get out now.
Yeah.
He says, I can go today, man. I'm going right now, but you're not ready for right now.
Yes.
And those 90 days programming would have saved his life.
Yes. Well, yeah.
So sometimes we rush to the grave.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So don't ever question God's timing.
No,
I did.
No, and, you know, and at some point I did too, I'm sure, but I'm beyond that part in this walk.
I'm a firm believer. Had I been free in the late 80s and early 90s, I'd have been caught up in the crack epidemic. I'm a stick-up kid that got guns and run around the street. There's no question in my mind. If I was in the streets in the late 80s, early 90s,
Right.
I'd have been in it in some form or fashion.
Exactly.
I'd have been a robber. I might have turned into a dealer. I might have turned into an addict. I don't know. I was going to be in it, though.
Yeah.
Right. We all say we'll never be an addict, but you never know. Stuff.
Right, no, absolutely.
So I'm not even going to lie and say I would have never become an addict. In my mind, I wouldn't have.
Right.
But I was going to become something. An addict, a dealer. I was going to stay a
I'm
robber.
going to be deep in the game
I wasn't
way.
getting out the game.
Yes.
Which could have easily led to me dying
Absolutely.
or a life sentence.
Yeah.
So when they came and got me early, I was mad, but it saved me from having to deal with that whole baggage.
Yeah. Yes.
So God works in mysterious ways, but just know that He's working.
Absolutely. Yeah. Plenty of evidence that he's working.
Oh yeah.
Yes, no doubt.
So what are you doing now?
Right now, like I said, I'm going through a case with so that's kind of got me engulfed because I have to fly to California quite a bit for court, and just as much as I can, I want to see him, you know, obviously, and finally got the video,
You get the video visits now?
yeah, to work, so that's gonna help.
So how was the video visits when you get to see him?
Good, because I can see that you're intact and okay, and it just seeing each other, I think, give us both comfort. You know, it definitely comforts me, and it takes a little pressure off of me having to try to go out of state constantly. You know.
What do you think about the people who think we shouldn't have tablets and video visits? It's too much. They should be punished, and they don't deserve these things.
I mean, they are being punished. They are being punished, but are we talking to your mom a punishment, or saying goodnight to your child? I mean, they are being punishment. They're confined. They're marching by the beat of the drum, but I guess redefining what we're calling punishment, I think, is more inhumane than, you know, personally.
Have you robbed a bank or committed a crime any time lately?
No,
So you should have the right to see your kid.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You know he's watching us. Excuse me. You know they're watching us.
Well, good, because everyone needs to know it's important.
No, your kids are watching.
Well-
I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about your kids.
Well, my kids,
What do you want to say to them?
I want to let them know that I love them. They know that already, and that like I've told them many times before, we're going to walk it out together and we're going to trust God.
You're not going to cut them loose?
Never.
But they got in trouble.
Hey, so did I. Somebody had grace and mercy on me.
They can't be discontinued and cut off and you go on and have a couple more kids and call it a day?
Nope,
You sticking with them?
to the end. Oh, they're going till they walk out of that gate. I'll be right there.
You can be right there.
Yes.
So you going to smack them in the back of the head before you give them a hug?
Yes, I said I'm going to still at 30 lay down some rules. Okay, we ain't doing this no more. Okay.
No more?
No more. You know, we're going to ride this ride, but once we finish with it, it's done.
So what do you want them to do when they all come home? What's your big plan?
One of my big plans, I know it seems a little small, but just having all my kids in one place at one time. It's been so long since that has happened. So take a picture all together. You know, like I said, it's the small things that I miss the most.
It was my mother's 60th birthday before she had all 6 of us. Was it 60? She was in her late 50s. Mm-hmm. And we came together for a family picture.
Right.
And we were like adults.
I'm sure that was
I did
the world.
14. My brother did 24, and
Wow.
my sisters were here and there. But we all got together for a family picture.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
And we all went. I think somebody skipped out on the dinner. I know we all got together for the picture. That we all came together for our 60th birthday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we had like a big family union, mom's 60th, and we all got a picture together.
Awesome. Yeah, so that's certainly.
You ready? Mm-hmm. You gonna cook for them?
You know, they know how to cook too. They was out long enough to know how to cook. But yeah, the first couple of days, yes.
What's their favorite meals?
Everybody likes fried chicken.
Fried chicken and the family picture.
Yes.
No Kool-Aid kids?
No, they're not Kool-Aid kids.
That's Oklahoma. What do y'all drink lemonade in Oklahoma?
You know what? It was juice, whatever that is.
Drink or juice?
Drink. Okay, orange drink. But
that was a problem. See, that's it right there, right?
Yes.
We got to stop giving our kids drink.
I know, like what is drink?
There's something in the drink that
Yes,
messing us
it's
up.
causing all of this.
It's the orange and grape drink.
Yes.
We need to get on the juice.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
think we need to do a campaign.
Get away from the drink. Yeah, we need. Yeah.
We have to do a poll. How many people in prison drink
Right.
versus juice? I actually didn't do drink. I did Kool-Aid.
Well, that was probably. At least you knew what was in it. You know, I don't know. Drink was just drink. Okay. It was cold and it was.
It made it work.
Right.
It was colorful.
Absolutely.
So, I want you to know it's not your fault. Adults make decisions.
Yes.
My mother used to think it was her fault that I went to jail. I made every decision to the contrary of what she taught me. My mother never taught me to carry a gun. She never taught me to rob anybody. She never taught me to cheat anybody. She never taught me to do stuff to people. That wasn't a lesson she ever gave me.
Likewise.
So I can tell you exactly who taught me how to rob people. I had a cousin who took me out with her one time. He showed me literally how to rob people. He's like, come on with me, Dre. I went with him, and they should do stuff. And he showed me the game. My cousin taught me.
Yes. No.
Then I had another friend who, I remember one time they went out and they used to go out and rob people down by the bars. Mm-hmm. They robbed a guy one time, and he was at his car. So they took the keys and took the car and took off. When they came, it's like, yo, Dre, we got this car. And they told me how it happened. I'm like, bing, great idea. We can take keys and take the car. So I started doing armed carjackings.
Yeah.
So it wasn't my mom. It was like my best friend, my oldest living friend, who showed me he explained to me how they got this car, and I deduced how I can do it. Right. So I started going out robbing people for their car keys.
Yes.
Mom didn't teach me none of that.
I'm sure.
And we hid it from Mom.
Right, of course. Of course.
So it wasn't like we was coming home, hey, Mom, I just did another stick up.
No,
hey, check out this new gun I got. None of that.
No.
We used to come in the house and be quiet boys.
Yes. No, I understand.
I remember, I don't know how old, I might have been like 16 or something. My mother called herself giving me a beating. She took me by my hand, she got the extension cord, and she's beating me in a circle. And I'm kind of like laughing, right? I'm trying not to laugh because she's trying to like discipline me because she's
Right.
trying to keep me out of trouble. I had to fake cry so she didn't cry.
Oh, yes. I've done that before.
I had to fake cry so I'm like, okay, Mom, I got the lesson.
Like,
Then I went right back out the door.
right. I've done that. I tried to do that to Richard. I'm like, oh, he's not doing anything.
it's
This
not
must
working.
not hurt. This must not hurt.
I'm bigger than Mom. I'm like, okay. I'm like,
Right.
Mom, are you really doing this right now? But it was all she knew.
No, absolutely.
And she was trying. So I felt bad for her, so I fake cried.
Right. Yes,
So we know better.
absolutely.
And we chose not to do better.
Yeah,
But you staying focused, staying locked in, is going to help them stay focused and staying locked in.
absolutely.
And we bounce back. If I can make it, your kids can make it.
This is why I'm always grateful and thankful, because it's your stories that continue to fill me with hope. And, you know, so I know I'm firm on it. It's just a win. It's not an if. So we're going to walk it out.
It's definitely a win. They got a song, Walk It Out. We ain't got
Right.
the copyrights to that.
No, right, but you know the thing, but you literally have to walk this thing out, you know, and do the work, whatever that is, and self-work, you know.
They'll pick up stuff. God will speak to them
And
at different junctions. Early in my sentence, when I'm running around crazy, I'm running through the program building looking for something.
right,
I went by a door. When I got to the door, there was like a Bible study going on inside. I ain't going to no Bible study.
Right.
But I stopped them looking for the person. I heard the chaplain say, God will use you as a vessel. He will pour stuff into you, and he'll fill you up. And you take that, what he poured into you, and you pour it on others. He says, how beautiful is it? How great is it to be a vessel for God? I was like, kept moving. I heard it.
absolutely.
I couldn't unhear it. And for years, that would always come back to me. And it stuck with me my entire life. And now, what am I? I'm a vessel.
Absolutely.
I am the scripts that I heard through the door.
Wow.
The Bible study was for me, even though it wasn't set up for me. He says, I don't need him to hear the whole thing.
Here's the
He
seed
just
I
needs
won't
this,
plant it.
this is the part I need him to hear. And it came through him to me. And I couldn't tell you another word he said.
Right.
Couldn't tell you the man's name or what he looked like. But when God sends you a message,
Absolutely.
it sticks.
Yes.
So I definitely want to thank you for coming.
Thank you as well.
So you want to say something? You want to say bye to your boys?
Bye, Monte, Richard, and Damari. I love you guys, and I'm thank you for this opportunity, because I also desire to be a vessel and just walk this out gracefully so I can exemplify to other mothers that's struggling and doing the same thing, that one step at a time, but it has to be forward. Small, big, it all needs to be forward.
You're leading the way. You're being an example. And your boys are proud of you, which makes them have to be proud of themselves. Because you come from good stock, that's what they tell people. You come from good stock, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of us come from some crazy places.
Yes.
But, they had a good start. They're going to have a phenomenal win because you're in their story throughout.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, this is your host of Hope Media, Andre Norman. This is a Mom's Edition, nothing better, and until the next time.